And welcome on in to another episode of Getting Wild with Terry and Friends. I'm Terry, occupancy beside me, Dave beside him, Nick bottom left, Will bottom right, and we are ready to break down some Friday sports. We will look at the record here in a minute. It's time. Fade to boost is back. Barstool boost. Wings, Lightning, Jets, Canes, all to win. Plus 550. Who kills this?
Oh boy.
Well, we'll get to the Canes game, obviously.
Lightning,
we'll get to these games, and we'll discuss them as we get through there. Jay Stone says the Jets.
No.
And Isaac says heart with his hands. I just stayed off the game. Let's cash a big ticket tonight. Hopefully. Let's get it. We'll start the show as we usually do. And that is taking a look at the current show standings here. MLB, I think, is pretty much the same. Nothing has really changed there. NFL, pretty much the same as well. College football, pretty much the same as well. Not a lot happening there. Nothing change in other sports. Hockey. Bit of a rough start to best bets and over-under, but it's only 3 days in. Dog of the day, going well. Dog of the day so far, which is awesome. And we'll look to keep that going here. Crystal, hey, Terry, everyone. Just wanted to say hi and hit the like. Thank you. Much appreciated. So we'll get started. We'll do things a little bit differently today, and we'll actually start with baseball just because the first game is about to go off here. And well, not the first game of the day, but the first game we're going to talk about is going off in a half hour here. So we'll start with that one here. 1 second. And we have the Atlanta Braves and the Philadelphia Phillies. In this one, you can get Atlanta minus 110 minus 110 to minus 120. Philadelphia is minus 105 to plus 100. 6.5. I do see 1.7 in this one. I have baseball picks today. I took two sides, and the one here I am taking Atlanta, which I got a plus 102. They're now minus 110 to minus 120. So I did beat a little bit of line movement, getting them at plus money. I would take them at minus 110. But once you get past the minus 120 range, I'm not sure there. Basically, for me in this one, Nola has had two good games against against the Braves, but he's also had 3 games where he's got smashed. And Strider on the other side has only given up 1 earned run in each of his 3 games against the Phillies. So I think Nola will get hit here a bit. Not sure how long Strider will pitch, but I think the Braves bullpen will be able to get the job done. Braves money line full game. Occupancy, Braves Phillies. Any thoughts on this one?
Yeah, I'm back in Aaron Nola. I did some shopping and found a Philly money line at plus 103. So I put a half unit on that. The reason is I think Aaron Nola is pitching really well. Since the beginning of September, he's had 8 strikeouts or more in every appearance except for one with Washington. His ERAs have been consistently around a 3, and his FIPS middle 2s right now. If you look at his last game, he threw 101 pitches, 6 1/3, 4 hits, 1 walk, 6 strikeouts. And I just continue him to pitch again well. I played this a couple different ways, so I split it up. I'm on the Phillies first half minus a half, around plus 130. I'm on Phillies money line, and I'm on the Phillies to score first. and that was a plus 110. I have Castellanos to get a hit, and I have Brandon Marsh to get a hit. I was seeing Marsh's hits around like a minus 140, and for one of my books had it at a minus 105. So I just thought for value purposes, I was going to take it that way. So at least one of us will make money today, Terry.
All right. Well, you can still hit some of your props and stuff, and we could still make money. But Dave, Braves, Phillies. Any thoughts or picks on this one?
Who chews gum more annoyingly, Pete Carroll or Terry Francona?
Pete Carroll.
I'm watching. No, Terry Francona looks like he has like a problem, like a nervous problem. Anyway, this game, to tell you I lean towards the Braves. The Phillies are hot. Strider's the better pitcher. He had under a 2 ERA last month. He's pitched well versus the Phillies, and Nola, like he said, has been kind of back and forth. And Phillies hot bats, but Atlanta vastly superior bullpen, which I think is the biggest edge for them. So I'm not betting anything. I lean towards the Braves, and with two teams that bore me. So I don't care who wins this series because whoever wins it loses next series.
All right. Yeah, it's experience for me. That's the reason why I went with the Braves here. Nick, Braves, Phillies. What do you think on this one?
I took the same thing I've taken in every single Phillies game so far in the playoffs. Phillies first 5. I trust Aaron Nola more than I trust what I think is going to be 3 innings of Spencer Strider, because I think they said that he's going to be limited, if I'm not mistaken. It was either him or potentially I think he's going to be limited a little bit, and so is Gonsolin tonight. I was honestly looking at futures for the Phillies to win the National League and the World Series. I think that there's value with this team. They're getting hot at the right time, and I'm still not 100% a believer here with Atlanta. I think still, yeah, but I also like the over 6.5 in this game. If what I think is right and Spencer Strider is going to be limited, that means we're going to see more Atlanta bullpen, which I think means more runs. And then also, I think I made a joke about this in the group chat earlier. Hall of Fame pitcher Bruce Sutter died today. So I also put a 1/10 of a unit on Nick Castellanos to hit a home run because he loves to pick the worst times to hit home runs. So plus 600 Nick Castellanos to hit a home run after somebody. He did it.
Morbid.
He did it the game after Vince Scully died too. Too bad he was on the IL when the Queen died. There was a couple other times where he hit some really inappropriate home runs. He hit the home. Obviously, everybody knows it all started when he hit the home run after the one Reds broadcaster got fired. All that. It's been a trend for him. If something bad happens, bet Castellanos to hit a home run. For whatever reason, it smacks. So Nick Castellanos to hit a home run at plus 600 is probably my favorite play from this game.
The Wild did lose yesterday, so it is a bad time.
No, well, there was the one Hall of Fame pitcher died.
Very, very funny, Dave. Very funny. Will, any thoughts here, Braves, Phillies?
Yeah, I was just about to say that Strider's pitched 3 games against Philadelphia. He's gone about 18 2/3, 29 Ks, only 7 hits and 3 earned runs, but that seems to not matter after what Nick just said. So let's move on.
Yeah. Well, like Dave said too, the Braves have the better bullpen.
But he's not going 6.
Yeah, but if he goes 3, then the Braves bullpen can come in, and I think we're gonna have a close game. I think it's gonna be a close game. We'll move on to the second baseball game before we get over to hockey, and that is the Dodgers, and as Nick likes to call them, the San Diego Padres. Here in this one, you can find the Dodgers anywhere from minus 118 to minus 126. San Diego plus 100 to plus 108. 7.5s. I do see some 7s available as well. And once again, well, I guess when I took Atlanta, they were the underdogs, but they're the favorites now. And I'm taking the favorites here again in this one. with the Dodgers. They're just the far superior team in this one. Gonsolin, yes, he's been injured, but when he does play, pretty much all season long, he's been consistent. Snell has faced the Dodgers twice. He gave up 5 runs in one game, was really good in the other 2, so kind of a mixed bag there. But I think it doesn't really matter. I think Dodgers will get the win, and that's all I need. I don't need them to win by 2 or anything. I just need them to win this game. So that's what I took, Dodgers money line. Occupancy, Dodgers, Padres. Any thoughts here?
Yeah, so before the whole Gonsolin injury, I mean, we were looking in spring, and I think a couple of people said Cy Young early. Obviously, that changed a lot. But this guy's a good pitcher. I think it's a really good price for him. He just they seem to get wins when he's on the mound. Again, I know it was a lot earlier, but like he went on a streak I'm looking from May 28th to July 13th. The team recorded a win in about 8 starts. So I look at that sometimes, like how the team does when the pitcher's on the mound, see like, if they like him and how they do with that. Same thing with hockey. Like some teams play differently in front of different goalies. Remember the Yarrow Halak thing last year was a big one. But I think Gonsolin's a guy.
Another one, yeah.
Yeah. Snell, on the other hand, right in the one loss they had, he went 3 innings, let up 4 hits, 2 runs, 2 earned, 6 walks, 5 strikeouts. He did not look good against the Mets there. So I'm going to be on the Dodgers money line. Some of these books and these boosts, man, like I'm seeing plus. He's not a strikeout pitcher, so that's probably why it's such a big thing. But I might sprinkle a little bit. I'm seeing Gonsolin 5 strikeouts or more in Dodgers to win at plus 425. I think that's worth like $10 or something. But I like the Dodgers here.
All right. Dave, Dodgers, Padres. What do you think of this one?
Yeah, I hadn't bet it to this point, but not that I just had so much going on. I'm on the Dodgers. There's no reason to think that the Dodgers won't win every game they play. Like, I mean, if they played 1,000 game versus the Padres, you'd be winning. You'd win, especially when you're getting a line like this that isn't super juiced. I think the Padres are getting a little more respect than they should. Blake Snell was one of my favorite fades early season. He actually turned it around. He cut his ERA in half. He's still inaccurate. He still walks too many people, and he's not. He won the Cy Young in 2018. He's been an average to below average pitcher every other year, and people hump up on this guy. Dodgers aren't hitting left-handed pitching that well. It doesn't matter. Dodgers have the most complete team in baseball. They have one of the best bullpens as of late. They have experience on all sorts of different ways, and they have youth. It's kind of a weird mix. They're just super deep. And the Padres aren't winning the series. I'm sorry. It's nice they went to the playoffs. So in a particular edge in this game, I don't have one. I think Gonsolin's a better pitcher. There's no real big edge specifically in this one game. But overall, I'm betting that the Dodgers are the better team, which they are. At this price, it's a no-brainer.
All right. I totally agree. Nick, Dodgers, Padres. What do you think?
Yeah, this line's weird. Have we all soured on the Dodgers after they lose one playoff game? Minus 120
What I'm saying.
for the. Yeah, I mean, you can keep your minus 120. I'm going to take plus 145 on the run line. I think that this is a statement game. Blake Snell, one thing that I noticed he struggles with is walking batters. I noticed that when he pitched against the Mets in Game 2, he walked a lot of batters. And I think that can continue into this game. And one thing you definitely don't want to do with the Dodgers is to give them free runners. And I think that's something he's going to struggle with tonight. So I went ahead. I took the Dodgers minus 1.5 at plus 145. I think not only they win this game convincingly and take a 2-1 series lead. I don't think people should overreact about the Padres winning Game 2.
All right. Will, Dodgers, Padres. Any thoughts here?
Not tonight.
All right. We will move on along to
Well
the
said.
first of the 4 hockey games that we have tonight. Let's go, Nick. Run line that puppy up. That's what Richie says.
Yep.
So he agrees there. But back to this Montreal and Detroit. You can currently find Montreal plus 138 to plus 145. Detroit is minus 163 to minus 172. 6.5s right across the board. You could get Detroit minus 1.5 for anywhere plus 150 approximately in this one. For me, Montreal is an over team. I think they're going to be an over team throughout the year. They did play well against Toronto. Their defense actually played well, the rookie defense in front of Toronto. But in this one here, I think they kind of got up to play Toronto. I don't know how much they're going to get up to play Detroit. So I would be looking towards Detroit as a side, but they're huge favorites. And I don't want to back them in game one here as a huge favorite against a Montreal team that I do think is going to be scrappy and is going to pull off upset wins because they're going to be an underdog often. So for me here, I'm going with the over 6.5. I think we get a lot of goals in this one. I think Detroit will get their fair share. I think Montreal will get some as well. And I think it'll be overall a high scoring night. So I have the over 6.5. I also have one player prop singly, and that's Moritz Seider over 0.5 point, which is at plus 100. I don't know why Detroit being such big favorites that you can get their top defenseman by far, their best offensive defenseman at plus 100 to get a point. I think that's not priced correctly, so I'm happy to take that. Moritz Seider over 0.5 point, plus 100. I got the over 6.5 earlier at plus 100. And then I have a 4-team same game parlay for plus 500. And that's Cole Caulfield and Nicholas Suzuki, both to get a point on the top line for Montreal. And Dylan Larkin and Lucas Raymond, both to get a point, both on the top line for Detroit for plus 500. I think we'll see lots of goals for both teams. So that's what I like here in this one. Occupancy, Montreal, Detroit. What do you think on this one?
Yeah, I mean, for a straight unit better, it's kind of hard to get in on this game with the juice for the Detroit on the money line. I'm not really going to look that way. I'd be looking at a team total for Detroit minus 110 for 3.5, but I feel like I could probably get a 2.5 in game. So I don't really have anything pregame right now on that. Looking at the player props, that's one area I've been profitable the first week. My size and totals not so much. Husso saves props are at 26.5. Canadians went up in the third last game, and their shot count was really low. But if you think that Detroit's going to be leading in this game, then their shot count will be up, and Husso's a really solid goalie. So I could see that being a look. But really not a whole lot in this game.
All right. IceX is against me. He's going with under 6.5. So he is against me. Richie says Canadiens, money line. And Tim says, what's up to IceX? Dave, we know how you feel about the Canadiens. What do you think about Red Wings?
If I've said it once, I've said it 100 times. And I'll keep saying it. What is a Red Wing? It's a boot. I asked Detroit Lenny, who's from Detroit, Detroit Lenny. He couldn't even tell me what the hell a red wing was. And he said something about a bird with red wings. Well, that's a motorcycle, Will, by the way, with a wing on it. So I'm going to call them the Boots. And that's all I have to say about this because I didn't even look at this game. So I'm here to listen and maybe bet. But, yeah, by the way, it's IAN, not IEN. Get it right.
There you go. Nick, Canadiens, Red Wings. What do you think of this one?
Yeah, I landed on the Detroit Red Wings puck line tonight. I'm also on the full game over 6.5. We still have question marks defensively with both these teams, so I do think that the goals is a good look in this one. And this could be a flat spot for Montreal, who just came off of a big win against Toronto for their opening game in their home arena. I was all over Montreal in that game, never in doubt. Yeah, looking at this spot here for me, I think that they have the goalie advantage with Ville Husso over Allen as well, and just Montreal in their only game they did win, but they lost the expected goal battle. This is Detroit's first game, so this is a good spot. I think this is a good spot for Detroit, their home opener. I'm gonna puck line them up. I got it at plus 157, and I got the full game over 6.5 as well.
All right. Me and Nick agree. There we go. Doesn't happen too often. Will, Canadiens, Red Wings, what do you think here?
Yeah, yesterday I grabbed over 6 minus 115 at Caesars, and I also grabbed Canadiens money line plus 140. So I'll explain both of them. First of all, I have this game projected for about 7.5 goals, 4 goals for each team. And that's why I played the over 6, and it's moved to 6.5. The market is still, they don't quite understand that scoring is up in the NHL, and they haven't for the past year. So let's just keep hitting it. For the Canadiens, I have about a 6% edge, and I like to play value. And what I mean by value is if these teams played in Detroit in 3 months, they wouldn't be plus 140 dogs. They'd be plus 120 or plus 110. So we're going to play it tonight.
All right. Richie says, let's go, Will. So Richie agrees with you. We'll move on along to the next game here. Tampa Bay Lightning and the Columbus Blue Jackets. You can currently get Tampa Bay anywhere from minus 188 to minus 217. Columbus is plus 163 to plus 179. 6s and 6.5s in this one. Tampa Bay minus 1.5. You're looking at anywhere from plus 118 to plus 135 in this one. For me in this game, I looked at previous matchups and overs. These teams have actually been going over when they face each other. I think 5 or 6 straight games with at least 6 goals. For me here, I refuse to back Tampa Bay as a minus 200 favorite right now. I get it. They are the Tampa Bay Lightning, but as I correctly predicted, they came out kind of slow in game 1. Tampa Bay, they're confident they're going to be in the playoffs. They know that they have the roster to make the playoffs. So they're not as motivated as some other teams might be to win at this time of the year. Their focus is on the playoffs. So I do think Tampa Bay most likely will win this game. That's why I'm not betting Columbus. But I refuse to take Tampa Bay to win by 2 in a situation where I didn't overly love their playing game 1, and I don't see how motivated they're going to be at this time of the year. So Columbus not having Merzlikins again, not having Laine, who got hurt in game 1, which is just absolutely a heartbreaker for them because as a team with not a lot of offensive players, you need Patrick Laine in that lineup. Having him out really hurts. So that also hurts my thoughts in the over. So basically, I'm off this game. I just don't have an edge. So I'm not going to just bet every game to bet it. If you don't have an edge, stay off. There's nothing wrong with staying off a game. Occupancy, Lightning, Blue Jackets. Is there something that you like in this game?
Yeah, I was just tuning in to the last Blue Jackets game. I was listening on the radio in the corner of some parking lot in my car. And it was a really good hockey game. It was a tight battle. Laine came out in the beginning of the second period, put that one in. And then it kind of just fell apart for the Jackets. Like Carolina dug in, kind of got that first period shakes out of their system and got the job done. And I think that's likely what's going to happen tonight. But if we want to lay minus 130 for the reg line, I like to see those a little closer to plus money. So if I had to bet this game, I would be on the minus 130 in reg for Tampa. But since we don't really have to bet this game, I also don't really want to back Columbus here. There's not a whole lot for me here. I think Tampa will win outright, but in the beginning of the season, covering a puck line can be easy, but can also kind of surprise you. And you got a 3-2 win, and then no one hits team totals or anything. So looking to stay off. The Vasilevsky saves prop is interesting to me. Columbus peppered Freddie Anderson that first night. I'm just pulling that up, how many they had on him. And they had 32 shots on him, so he had 31 saves there. So I think Vasilevsky over 27.5 minus 130 is a pretty good look for player props. Yeah, they're heavily juiced so much for the big guns on Tampa here. I just got it looking it up now, but yeah, I mean, I'll tweet out anything I land on. But for right now, with a lean and a Tampa reg and that Vasilevsky save prop.
All right, Dave, Lightning Blue Jackets. Any thought on this one?
No, thank you.
All right, Nick, Lightning Blue Jackets. What do you think here?
Not a game I got to. I don't want to lay this type of juice with Tampa on the road. Even though they did win their first game, they did win their first game, or they lost their first game against New York. They got absolutely dominated in that game on the score sheet, and it should have been worse according to expected goals, 5.59 to 2.75. So they lost that game pretty significantly. Very rare time that the Rangers actually win an expected goal battle, and they did pretty significantly in that game. And looking at it here, I don't really want anything to do with anything with that game, so it's a pass.
All right, first, Nick, what did you make last night?
Oh, I can put that in the group chat. You're gonna love it. I didn't want to send it to you last night because it was right after the Wild lost.
Awesome! Well, I'll be sure to check out whatever it is you sent.
It's a beautiful picture I made.
Oh, awesome! And then Richie's wondering about your rundown on tickets and money.
Yeah, the site I usually use for baseball, they really have very insignificant amount of information when it comes to that for hockey. So I can't really use it too much.
All right. Lightning lost an elite Rangers team. I almost said Bruins. SpaceX will be happy. Detroit for Richie. Perron goal. So Lenny likes Perron tonight a lot. Show it. Will, Lightning Blue Jackets. What do you think here?
Yeah, I have this game pretty much right where the market has it. I don't love that Merzlikins is out. I really don't like that Line is out for Columbus. If anything, go with Tampa and like over 5.5 as a parlay, or Tampa and over 6.5. But then again, I mean, Vazzy's going tonight, so Columbus might not score a goal. I personally don't think there's an edge like Terry, and I'm just going to stay off.
All right. We'll move on along to the next one here. We have the Rangers and the Winnipeg Jets. Obviously, I got to watch this Rangers team for the second game. I watched both their games so far this year. You can currently find them plus 114 to plus 130. Winnipeg minus 135 to minus 152. 6.5s. You can get Winnipeg minus 1.5, anywhere from plus 170 to plus 180. Nick, from what I've heard, expected goals say that the Wild should have won yesterday's game.
The Wild should have dominated last night. Absolutely. 4.46 to 3.16. So the Rangers are getting right back on their trail of winning games that they get dominated in. And 5-on-5 numbers suggested that the Minnesota Wild were the much better team last night as well.
If and buts were candy and nuts.
See, the thing for me is... Go ahead.
But those numbers show that you shouldn't expect these things to continue long-term for some of these teams. It's kind of like a team's getting lucky. It's almost like when you look at ERA compared to expected ERA, a pitcher gets a little lucky. You expect them to regress back down to the mean. You kind of do that with that's what the expected goals kind of tells you as well.
Great.
All right.
Go
Richie
Blackhawks.
says the Jets. Yeah, see, everyone, Lenny says shoulda, woulda, coulda. Everyone looks at things differently. I'm not a big expected goals person myself, but everyone's different. But going on to this one, here. I don't think the Rangers should be plus 130 right now, but this is a horrible spot for them. Obviously, it'll be Halak and net, first off. Second of all, their third game in 4 nights. But the Jets haven't played this year. The Jets aren't going to be a very good team, but even not very good teams still win games. So the Jets could win this game, but I'm not backing them as a favorite of this size against the Rangers. I just won't do it. The Rangers, yes, the Wild played pretty bad yesterday. When it comes to defense, goaltending, there wasn't much whatsoever. But offensively, they did get chances against the Rangers, and there won't be Shesterkin in net to save them today. So this game is ultimately a pass for me. I'm tempted with the Rangers at plus 130 because I do think that's kind of a way too high of a price. But for me, I'm not a person who likes to bet things just because of the numbers. If I don't think the Rangers are going to win, then I don't really want to bet on them, even if it is an attractive price. So this game is ultimately a pass for me. I just don't really have any edge in this one either. Occupancy, Rangers, Jets. What do you think here?
I'll be pretty brief with this one. Anyone who's been around like last season with us and group chats and our YouTube space knows that like Jets money line is just a really easy way to throw out money. It's a really easy way to take your hard-earned cash and throw it in a nearby dumpster. I'm not doing it this year. I refuse. I might not have any tickets on this team this year, all year, 82 games. They're just disappointing all across the board. But it's a weird Ranger spot as well. So I'm not really looking towards any sides or totals here, to be honest. Got to shout out Kyle Connor. He had a record year for shots on goal last year. He's the person. His over 3.5 shots. I'm seeing at Bovada at minus 105. If you take a look at just like how the first few games have started off for like the big guns, like thinking like DeBrincat and Kachuk, like look how many times they're shooting. Everyone who has like the 3.5 and over type player is coming out on opening night and firing. So he's the person I would take a look. Plus 160 for a goal. And other than that, not a whole lot.
All right. Dave, Rangers, Jets, any thoughts here?
Yeah, actually, this is my one game. My whole thing on this show is to pick at least one game to seriously cap. Yesterday was the Stars with Chit, and so this is actually it's not similar. 2 days ago, I picked an under. Anyways, I like the under. Okay, so this is a deal. I don't know if Shesterkin, however you say his name. I don't know if you can see the lineups the night before. I doubt you can. I guess it's like kind of like baseball. They do it the day of. But it moved from 6 to 6.5. That's probably because the second, the backup goalie's in the net, which is fine. But on the other side, they've got Hellebuck, right? Is that how you say his name? Hellebuck?
Yeah,
Hellebuck?
Yeah.
And he's another above average, actually top 10 goalie as far as what I'm reading about.
Former Vezina winner, yes.
Yeah, there you go. So I just went on, hey, there's 2 really good goalies, and now there's 1.5 really good goalies, and take the under. But, I mean, if I like 6 and it goes to 6.5, I guess that's the same because it's a push. But that's what I put my money on. I'm dipping my toe in the water, so I'm taking the under in this game. Oh, by the way, I forgot the most important freaking part, Dave. These teams, when they're in Winnipeg, have streaked towards the under last 4 or 5. So that's another important little tidbit.
All right. Yeah, there's definitely a huge difference between Shesterkin and Halak, but you can't just fade somebody because of a goalie, because look what happened with everyone loves to fade
Martin Jones.
Martin Jones. Yeah, everyone loves to fade Martin Jones, but the Kraken won with him yesterday. So
there's a
even
theory
bad
that
goalies.
Go ahead. Well, there's a theory that I've been reading about that talks about, and there's a name for it, but it's basically line reaction to the second goalie coming in and how it overreacts because, hey, they're still NHL goalies. So there's a lot of value, I guess, on betting certain lines with the backup goalie.
I just want to say on that, like, I think that's also because everybody expected Halak to be in today once Igor was announced yesterday. And the market stayed at 6 for 5 hours.
Okay.
And then after 5 hours, suddenly the public starts hammering it because they think Halak is some crap goalie. Or because Minnesota's or they scored 7 goals.
That's also another thing is the public remembers what they saw last.
So the under is the play. I mean, based on that logic, the under is a play.
Yeah, I don't mind it.
Okay.
Think about
Jets
like
only
baseball.
working on
when we see-
defense this year. So less man likes the under. They have very much focused on their defense, so that helps the under as well. Go ahead, occupancy.
real quick. I mean, just like think about every time we see like these 10-run games in baseball, like we go and bet the under the next day. So I think that's what could happen here with what the Rangers did yesterday.
All right, Nick, Rangers Jets. What do you think of this one?
Yeah, I did get on this game early because I did see this was going to be the third game in 4 days for the Rangers. I can give a crap if it's Igor or if it was Yaroslav Halak. Because if you look, actually, Halak's stats last year were not that bad. Like, when we look at it here, I have to get up his numbers again because I started looking at Hellebuck's numbers. But his numbers last year for Vancouver were not bad. 2.94 goals allowed average in 17 starts. He was about right compared to where his expected goals allowed average was compared to his actual goals allowed average was 2.93 to 2.94. Like, so he was an average goalie last year. He stopped the ones he was supposed to stop. He didn't stop the ones he wasn't supposed to stop. So he's not as bad as people think he is. He struggled at the end of the year last year, but when you look at his numbers were not that bad last year. That being said, this is a terrible spot here for the Rangers, and it feels like Calgary and Colorado from last night, where you do have a much better team in the Rangers on the road, playing a second game of a back-to-back, 3 games in 4 nights. Now, obviously, Colorado wasn't 3 games in 4 nights. I think the Rangers come out a little flat in this game. I got the Jets at -120. If I had to play the game now, I would look at the Rangers at this price because I thought this game should be closer to a pick'em, or I think this game should have been a pick'em. Now we're seeing the Winnipeg Jets at -145. Right now, it's Rangers or nothing. If you're having to make the play at +130, that's where I'd look. But I already made this play last night, taking the Jets at, I think I got him at -120. -120.
All right. Yeah, Les Man says the same thing. I might have taken a shot at -115 for the Jets, but that's gone now. So.
Yep.
Will, Rangers, Jets, what do you think of this one?
Yeah, pretty much the same thing. I had a 1.5% edge for the Jets yesterday at -115, and now I have a 1.5% edge for the Rangers at +130. So I'm not going to touch a money line, but I did play the under 6.5 when it showed up today because I'm projecting 5.4 goals, and I think it's a mixture of, backup goalie getting confirmed and the 7 goals that we saw from the Rangers last night and the 3 goals from Minnesota, which led to 10 goals. And that's just recency bias. I believe the Rangers won 3-1 opening night. I understand the expected goals was a lot more.
Oh, yeah. The expected goals were much higher on opening night. It was 5.59 to 2.75. So it was projected for an over.
Yeah.
Last night was similar. It was 4.46, 3.16. So both games expected were to go over.
I think the Rangers are going to end up more in the 4 to 5 goal games than the 7 to 8 goal games this year, even with Halak in that. So I played a half unit or 0.55 units on that at -110.
All right. News alert for tomorrow's shows. So instead of being at 1 p.m. Eastern tomorrow, the show will be an hour earlier at noon Eastern. And then Dave says thumbs down. And then the show for Sunday's games, which there's no hockey, so it's only basically football, will be at 6 p.m. Eastern time. So a couple changes in the shows for tomorrow. But we will go on to the final game of the night. And this is a very interesting one here. We have the Carolina Hurricanes and the San Jose Sharks. You can find Carolina minus 200 to minus 217 or 222. San Jose is plus 165 to plus 180. Sixes, I see 1.5. Carolina minus 1.5 is anywhere from plus 115 to plus 130 in this one. One stat that one part of my capping, kind of the very first thing that I look at is how teams do against each other in the past. Carolina has lost 6 straight games in San Jose, has not won there since the 2014-2015 season. It's been a long time. Cubano sent me yesterday. He's like, "Oh, Carolina puck line is only plus, I think it was plus 140 at that time, so it's gone down a bit." But and then when I looked at it and saw what the Sharks have done against Carolina, that takes me off Carolina. I'm not taking the Sharks because they're kind of like Nashville, which I was on Nashville yesterday, which was the wrong side, but the travel really does matter. So the travel is really bad for the Sharks. The Hurricanes can't win in San Jose, so this is ultimately another pass for me. Not a whole lot for tonight with NHL, but that's just how it works sometimes. I'll have a big card tomorrow, but not much in this game. If I had to bet something, I know everyone likes Brent Burns props. A lot of people like Brent Burns props. Maybe I would go there against his former team, but when everyone likes a prop, it tends not to work out very well. So ultimately, this game is just a complete pass for me here in this one. Occupancy, Hurricanes, Sharks. You're wearing a Sharks hat. Are you going to back them as the big dog today?
No, I'm on Burns props. I was working the other day, and this guy came in with a Niners hat, and I was talking Bay Area sports, and he asked me, oh, hey, how do you think the Sharks are going to do this year? I'm like, terrible. I mean, I project them to finish 14th or 15th in the conference. They let their players walk. They didn't re-sign anyone. They have questionable goaltending. It's just an organization that they brought in Mike Greer, to head some operations, but they're rebuilding. So fade them any chance you get. Put Hurricanes money line in your parlays tonight. Take the team total, take the puck line, load up on Carolina props. That's how you're going to make some money tonight.
All right. Detroit Lenny says, "Baby Sharks do plus 170." Richie cashed Stars yesterday and Sabres. Yes, Sabres were my dog of the day. They cashed yesterday, which was awesome. I believe Sharks are uglier than they appear this year. Mostly faded them. Yes, I'll be right there with you. Dave, Hurricanes, Sharks. What do you think here?
2 things. What's Baby Shark doo-doo?
It's a video that was made, I think, for little kids. And
Baby Shark doo-doo?
Baby Shark.
Yeah. Search Baby Shark on YouTube and watch it after the show. I can't bring it up because of obviously copyright stuff. But
all right. Well, anyway, the other thing is Sharks are ugly, but so are Hurricanes. So, take your pick.
There you go. Sharks also steal coins. When they play the Los Angeles Kings, yes.
Are you guys gonna say that for every team that wins money? It's gonna be like really old. Oh, they steal coins.
It's a thing from the Kraken steal. It's a Kraken. It's people saying it about the Kraken.
They did last night, baby.
Yeah, well, there you go. Sing it, Nick. Detroit
No.
wants Nick to sing it.
No.
Nick won't do it.
I'm not singing Baby Shark. No.
Especially because he's not. If he was on the Sharks, he would be singing it. But because he's
No.
not on the Sharks, he won't sing it. You sang it plenty of times, Nick. Don't lie. Don't do it, Dave. Nick, Hurricanes, Sharks. What do you think of this one?
Yeah. This may be the worst Sharks team we've seen in years. So I'm not reading too much into that. Carolina hasn't won here since 2015. The arena was different since then. There used to be the Shark Tank. It used to be the Sharks team doesn't care. The fans don't care right now. This is a different atmosphere, and this is a different year. The Sharks team, I think, is going to be one of the worst in their conference. They're coming in off of a terrible travel spot. this was pretty simple for me. I took the Hurricanes puck line and I got it at plus 140. So I beat a little line movement with it as well. So that's all I'm looking to do is just take Carolina and have them just dominate a 4-1 victory tonight.
All right. Will, Hurricanes, Sharks, what do you think here?
Yeah, at open, I had an edge on the Hurricanes, but it's closed because line movements come in their favor. I wouldn't read much into them not winning here in a long time. I think there's a statistic from like 2009 to 2019. The Sharks didn't win in Buffalo. Like, who cares? Yeah. 5.87 is the projected goals, so I wouldn't play the under, but I do think the Hurricanes are going to be an under team this year. They have a really good defense, and while they do get a lot of shots on goal, they don't get the highest like high danger scoring chances that other teams get because they kind of just pepper the goalie from anywhere. So I wouldn't make a play tonight, but I'm watching out for Hurricanes unders.
All right. I like stats when teams play each other in the past because they tend to matter. There tend to be stats for a reason, but everyone's different. Everyone can do what they like. But BetStamp, use code WILD in the referral code section. Make sure to do your line shopping. If you're finding something at plus 110 and other places it's plus 130, you're missing out. Like, you're missing out on free money basically by just not shopping around. So shop around. Obviously, if you're able to, download as many books as you can and get the best price for whatever you are betting. We will go on to the best bet segment. Sharks and Kraken were the only ones I recall that steal coins. The people would say that about. Yeah, the only time I'll be backing the Sharks is against LA. Otherwise, I probably won't be looking at them too often. But we will go to the best bet segment and start with over under, as we usually do. For me, Montreal, Detroit, over 6.5. For Ice X, Montreal, Detroit, under 6.5. Going against me there. Tim is going with Carolina, team total over 3.5. Dave, is there a total that you like today?
Yes. I like the Jets and the Rangers. I should say it the other way. Under 6.5. 6.5.
Yeah, I always put the road team and then the home team, but I know some people do it differently, Nick. But anyways, no, you did it right this way, but aren't you the one who does it the opposite way, or is that Tim? I might be getting confused with Tim. I apologize.
It's an ESPN thing. They do that the other way.
Yeah, it should be visitor/home. I don't know. That's just what I do.
You're right. It should be IAN.
There you go. Occupancy, is there a total you like today?
Yeah, I'll bet the one with Dave.
We'll go with under 6.5 and Rangers Winnipeg. All right. Will, is there a total you like today?
Yeah, I'll join you with Montreal, Detroit over 6.5.
All right. And we will move on along to dog of the day here. For me, no dog. Here. And actually, because I haven't done it in a while and we are doing dog of the day, give Finnegan his little showtime. But yeah, dog of the day for me, none today. Nick, you are going with Navy midshipmen.
Yeah, it's college football.
Yeah, I know that, but that's just an interesting name, midshipmen.
It's what they call it.
420.
It's like that's a cadet in the Navy. They call him midshipman. It's not cadet.
All right, plus 420, pretty good number there. I like it. Tim is going with San Diego Padres, plus 111. Ice X is going with New York Rangers, plus 130. Dave, is there a dog that you like today?
The Guardians, but they're playing. I don't have one besides them, and it's bottom of the ninth. Yankees have a runner on with 2 outs.
All right.
Tied
Occupancy?
2-2.
Any dog of the day for you, occupancy?
Yeah, let's go with the New York Rangers.
All right. Will, is there a dog that you like today?
Yeah, the Montreal Canadiens. And I do want to mention, I think you should take the Chicago Blackhawks tomorrow.
Who are they playing?
San Jose Sharks. I have
Damn
them.
right.
If you said Arizona Coyotes and it was a good price, I might have said that, yeah. But hey, if people that want to back Chicago, there you go. Did I forget anybody? No, I didn't. Okay, just want to make sure I don't forget anybody. Best bets here today. I was going to go yesterday with my player prop, which cashed, but I changed it to Minnesota money line. What a mistake that was. But anyways, it is what it is. Today, I'm not going to make the same mistake. Mort Seider over 0.5 point. He is Detroit's number one offensive defenseman, their number one defenseman in general. He's going to get a lot of ice time. Detroit's going to score some goals. He's going to get a point. It's plus money, which is insane. I think it's priced completely incorrect, so it's my best bet, plus 100. Nick, you're going Carolina Hurricanes, minus 1.5 for plus 140. Tim is going Winnipeg Jets, minus 1.5 for plus 190. Ryan is going with the Dodgers money line, minus 119. Occupancy, you're going with Gustav Nyquist over 1.5 shots, Columbus Blue Jacket player. And IceX is going with Tampa Bay, minus 1.5. Dave, what do you think here for best bet?
How many seconds do I have to not get copyrighted? See if you guys can guess.
4. Navy. He's on Navy.
I'm Navy. You guys even know who that is? The Village
No.
people?
Yeah,
You know
they're
the
the
Village
same people
people
who
are?
did the YMCA.
Yeah.
We know them.
Yeah.
Macho man.
Okay, yes, I've heard them before. I never heard that song. I never heard
Okay.
that.
Plus 12 or 12.5, whatever it is. I'll take more points if it's minus 115.
Midshipmen plus whatever.
By the way, Terry, read a book. Listen to a record.
A record? No. What is that? No, I'm kidding. No, I actually have a record player upstairs that I know.
Yeah. Terry, you got to keep in mind, Dave's a little older than us, so he's going to make references we don't understand.
It's
Yeah,
true.
exactly.
It's true.
Do you have your floppy disk out, Dave?
What? What did you just ask me?
I bet you Nick doesn't even know what a floppy disk is.
Yes,
Talk about my floppy disk.
Will, what do you think here for best bet?
Yeah, I'm on under 6.5 for the Rangers Winnipeg.
All right.
Guardians, runner on third.
All right. I have a few World Future Series on the Guardians, so I will be happy if they win. But the projected goals, blah, 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 Lenny says. I'm riding with Dave on the total. The stat only counts if the team doesn't suck a bag of dicks. All right. Dog of the day, Rangers. IceX likes the Blackhawks tomorrow. Detroit Lenny likes Perron, 2 points. And he likes Navy money line. YMCA. IceX was guessing YMCA. And they make pills for that. So, yeah, they make pills for that. But that is
They're
today's
blue.
show. As I said, tomorrow's show's noon and 6 p.m. Eastern time. So make sure to tune into those. You were going to say something, Will?
Yeah, also grab Canucks money line. That's going to move as well.
Yes, for sure. For floppy dicks. Oh, there you go. They make pills for floppy dicks. Check out Dave's show. I always blank on the name. Getting nerdy. No, I'm just kidding.
Nerd Talk, Capital Collective.
I'm kidding.
Terry
I
will
know.
be on from start to finish all 4 hours tonight.
Absolutely, he will. There are no excuses. He has nothing to do, so it's fine. He'll be on there the whole time.
I will
Ready
be
to talk
making
some
an
college
appearance
football.
on Dave's show to cap hockey because he needs a hockey expert to make an appearance. So because he asked me so politely, I said yes, that I will make an appearance. But I will be on the show. Make sure to tune in, capping. How many sports are we going to be capping, Dave? Different
Hockey,
people?
baseball, college football, and then we'll run back over the NFL. So 4. I mean, we got plenty of time. We it's not as regulated as your show, which is not a bash. It's bash against me. I don't like rules. There's very few rules, and we just kind of talk and we drink, and you do your thing in the garage, and
All right. That Canucks line already moved to minus money. So IceX will be taking the -1.5.
Oh, I still like my.
Does anybody think that line's a little suspicious? I'm just putting that out there. I'm kind of leaning Flyers.
I hear you. I just think the books don't know how to cap hockey.
And I love the Canucks this year.
Yeah, I
Guardian scored.
Guardians
I
scored.
need to fully cap the game. I haven't capped the game yet, so I need to fully cap the game before I can say anything about it myself. So I have no help there. But I was wrong about the Phillies against the Flyers. I was wrong about the Flyers against the Devils. But you don't want to overreact to one game. And this Flyers team isn't going to be good, so we'll have to see.
Flyers did lose the expected goal battle in that game as well. Very slightly by 0.12 goals, but they did lose it slightly.
All right. That is the end of today's show. Smash the subscribe button if you're new to the channel. Hit the like button if you enjoyed the content. That one was for you, Terry, talking shit about the Sharks all preseason, and you're afraid to bet a Stanley Cup Finals against them to leave them on the table. Hey, everyone can have your. I'm not afraid. The Hurricanes struggle in San Jose. Watch the Sharks win, and then we'll talk about that.
Terry's not afraid. He's high.
No. I would love to bet the Hurricanes tonight. I would love to, but I'm not going to because I'm just not. But smash the like button if you enjoy the content, and we'll see you again for other episodes. Getting Well with Terry and Friends. Have a good one, guys.